Welcome to the Super Sentai Brothers. This is episode 3 of A View to a Kakuranger, the internet's best and only podcast dedicated to Ninja Sentai Kakuranger. Every week we watch an episode of the show, we share our thoughts with you, the listeners. My name is Matt J. With me as always is my co-host and brother Dave. Dave, how are you doing today on this, the first day of autumn?
Oh, is it the first day of... I didn't know that.
It is. Yes, today is the day, September 22nd.
The seasons always seem like they start way later. Like, in my head, they should have started earlier. Like, we're at the end of September. Autumn should have started at the beginning of September, but whatever.
I know.
No, man, I'm good.
My brain still tells me that the seasons, like, start and end around high school summer vacation, even though I have not been a student in a very long time.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm feeling old. Because I got an advertisement today, like, hey, teacher, would you like to use, like, this educational product? And it is it's Wordly Wise. It's
no way.
What we used. Yeah, it's what we used when we were in high school. And I got an ad for it, like, hey, would you like to use this thing in your classroom? And it was like, oh, that's fun. And then it was also like, oh...
They cannot still be using those workbooks, right? Like, now it's all on an app or something.
I would imagine the workbooks are available, but it was for an app. You know, I say, about getting old, though, but, like, I would rather die 1,000 deaths than be a teenager again.
Hey, listen, like, you have to deal with, like, the indignity of getting advertised something from your youth, but on the other hand, you don't actually have to do your Wordly Wise homework again. Although, to be real, I kind of love Wordly Wise homework.
I liked Wordly Wise.
It was a vocabulary workbook.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, I like vocabulary. But that's not what we're here to talk about, Matt.
You know what I like,
You know what
Dave?
else I like?
I like Ninja Sentai Kakuranger.
Oh, that's what I was going to guess. Man,
I'm sorry. I should have given you the moment to guess. I apologize. But yes, your instincts were correct, Dave. I love Ninja Sentai Kakuranger. It's episode 3. I like Ninja Sentai Kakuranger. I'm leaving room for growth.
We will. I anticipate loving it, but now, warm acquaintances.
Today's episode, Dave, is called American Ninja. But before we get to that, and you do not know how hard it was for me to not say that.
It's cool. I got you.
Today's American Ninja Warrior. But before we jump into that, Dave, it's time for our officially award-winning opening segment. 2 years running, by the way. 2 years running with that award.
Oh yeah, thanks very much.
I got Dave the trophy this year. I'm very proud of it. It's got a microphone on it.
Yeah, yours, the one you got, is definitely better than the one I got you.
Well,
I don't know if I had a mic
We've had a year
option.
to refine the process.
We've had a year to up our game, Matt.
2016.
2016?
Dave, shining in the heavens, there are 5 stars. What's our first star of the week?
So our first star of the week, Matt, is my second favorite fall holiday.
Okay.
After Thanksgiving, which is, it's not an official holiday, I would admit, although I think it should be, is that fall TV has started. Which
Dave, fall has flung.
Okay, I know, like, I am joking, but there is a degree to which I do feel like, oh man, it's back. All the shows I want to watch. Okay, so before I came up here to do this, I did watch the new episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Nice.
It was hilarious.
Dude, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a quality program.
It's good TV. And I watched the new episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I have not yet finished last season, which I know now is on Netflix, so I need to do that before the new episodes disappear.
Dude, okay.
From Hulu.
Well, then I won't talk about it.
I mean, listen,
oh my gosh,
I
Hulu.
know that the Ghost Rider is in it.
Yeah, he is, and it's awesome. I'm so angry at Hulu. Okay, so I was watching The Flash, but I was like a little bit behind, and they went like episodes, like they replayed it, right? But they were only doing an episode a week, despite the fact that the whole season is already out, and they just did one a week. But then they got up to 12, and then they were like, oh, new episode. So I started it up, and it's just like, bum, bum, bum. Last episode, big reveal. And I was like, wait, what now? And then I X'd out of it, and they had jumped up 5 episodes. So you can't, so now I just know this thing, and they don't have episodes 13 through 16 up on Hulu. So now I've got to wait for it to be on Netflix.
I was going to say, I actually don't think that Flash going, like the CW DC shows going forward are going to be on Hulu. I think they made a Netflix deal.
Well, that is great because, that would be awesome. So now I got to wait for it to be on Netflix.
So you got to wait
so I can watch it. No. It should be when season 3 starts up. They usually put season 2 like on Netflix.
Oh,
so
no,
it should
I'm
be
saying
good.
You have to wait to the end of season 3 to watch season 3 because it's not going to be on Hulu. I think I could be wrong about that. That's what I heard.
Oh yeah, man. I don't know.
This level of Hulu detail cannot be interesting
is irrelevant
to our listeners.
Yeah, no. Nobody cares about this. Yeah, except so it's like, okay, well the CW, they like made a big deal out about it. They're like, oh, from now on, everything on the CW is going to be free to watch, and like you can just watch it. And that we've got an app for the Xbox. So it was like, oh, sick. I'm going to go get that app, and I'm going to catch up on Flash. And I got the CW app, and those jerks also don't have episodes 13 through 16. So now I'm just stuck. Yeah, they just don't. It's like their show, and they don't have it on there. They've got everything else, just not those 5 episodes of Flash, or whatever. How many? 13, 14, 15. Those 4 episodes of Flash.
How
so
weird.
I don't know how I'm going to watch it.
Man, who knows?
I'm just mad now.
I think that it's probably on Netflix soon. But, like, okay, I have not watched, like I said, I'm behind on a couple of shows. So I have not started watching the new seasons of things. But you want to know what I did watch the other day?
What did you watch the other day?
Because now it is on Netflix, whereas last year it wasn't streaming. I started watching the first season of Supergirl.
Oh, dude, we're like 3 episodes in, or 4. It's super good.
Dude, okay, listen, I'm not going to spend a long time talking about Supergirl. This is not a Supergirl star. This is a general TV star. But here are 2 highlights from the first 10 minutes of the first episode. 1, Supergirl saves a plane before the title card comes up. And super people saving planes are like, that's my favorite thing that Superman does.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, if a plane is falling and one of the super family catches it, like, that is my jam.
I'm down.
It is my favorite part of... It is so much my favorite part of Superman Returns that it might actually be my favorite part of any of the Superman movies. When he saves that,
I buy it.
Like space shuttle / like airliner jet.
Right, and then he says it's still statistically the safest way to travel, and
so
you're like,
good, dude.
Awesome, Superman. Yes,
okay,
love
here's
it.
the other thing. Do you know who's in that show? Dean Cain, the one true Superman, is in that show.
Oh man, I loved it.
Oh, I love
because I didn't know he was in it till I started watching it, and then he came up, and I was like, Dean Cain, and Beth was like, "Why is that a big deal?" I was like, "Wait, he's Superman. He played Superman." For me.
Listen, I know that like I feel like we are in the minority that like Dean Cain is our like one true like live action,
like our favorite Superman. Yeah,
like, we're the only
we probably
guys
are.
who like favor Dean Cain over Christopher Reeve. But dudes, I love Dean Cain.
He was so good as Superman.
I loved him. I want to watch Lois and Clark right now, but it's not streaming anywhere, and I do not want to pay for it.
Yeah, no, definitely do not. But, Matt, so Fall TV has started. It's very exciting. That's our first star. What is our second star of the week?
Second star of the week, Dave, is another thing I was watching recently. So I just, last Sunday, I forget the exact date, but a couple of days ago, I recorded an episode of a podcast that is not yet out. It'll be out in a few weeks. And you cannot listen to the other episodes yet because I think this is going to be the first episode of that show. But it is Jake Mason, a friend of the show, former guest, of the Morphin Grid and his sort of sundry projects that he does.
Right.
This is yet another podcast that he's doing because apparently he hates sleeping.
Yep, that sounds accurate.
That's the only reason that I can think why he would do this thing to himself. But his new show is called Explain Me an Anime, where he has people on to explain an anime to him because he is not like a super anime guy, so he doesn't know a lot about various animes. So
okay.
And I went through a phase where I watched every anime that was available
Just
to me.
a bunch.
Like, if somebody drew it and it moved and it came out in Japan, like, I watched it.
Like, I was 100% down. Yeah, automatically.
But
I'm not there anymore, but...
No, that's the weird thing, is, like, I have a period of anime where I watched pretty much everything, and anything from before or after that period, I have almost no knowledge of.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yep.
But
is this literally just... You go and you talk to Jake and you're like, so here's what this weird thing is about.
Yeah, but here's the thing is I chose to do Hikaru no Go, and I still don't know why. Because if you guys don't know what Hikaru no Go is like a sort of pleasant coming of age story about this like elementary school kid who is by the end of the show like in early high school, I think, and his growing rivalry with this other boy his age that he meets, as he learns to play Go and becomes like a professional Go player. And also there's a ghost from like not the Heian period, but like 1,000-year-old Go playing ghost that like inhabits him and teaches him how to play. But like there's not much show.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
It's a great show and it's like weirdly intense and super engaging, especially considering the fact that like I barely know how to play Go. Although I'll tell you, I was binging on this Hikaru no Go last weekend, trying to remember enough of it that I could talk coherently about it.
Oh, like getting prepped up for the okay.
I hadn't watched the show in like 10 years, and
You're
so
right.
I had a great time doing the show. I assume that Jake is going to cut it together to make me sound like I am making sense because he is very good at that. And so like cut out all of the weird rambly bits where I cannot remember characters' names. But two things, guys. Hikaru no Go is on Hulu. If that sounds interesting to you, it's all on there for free, subs and dubs.
Oh really? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Second thing is, dude, like, I wish I was better at Go. I don't have anything else to say about that, but like, man, Go is a great game and I wish I was good at it, and that's all that I have to say about this subject. Dave, what is our third star of the week?
So, Matt, our third star of the week is a thing that you're doing. I don't know why you threw that to me. That was a real... Come on, man. Get professional with this.
I'm just trying to keep you on your toes, man. I just want to make sure that you know where we're going next.
Yeah, no, I
do. Didn't want to leave you in the dust.
There's a list in front of me. I do.
To keep you engaged with the process.
Matt, what is our third star of the week?
Third star of the week is I got a new telephone, Dave.
Nice.
Listen, we don't have to talk about this too long because, like, this is not a podcast where we tell you about our new telephones usually, but I got a new internet telephone from the Apple Corporation.
One of those smartphones.
Yeah, one of the smartphones with the screen. Like, it's basically a mother box, but it doesn't do boom tubes, which is kind of lame because that's, like, the best thing that a mother box does.
Yeah, precisely. Well, that and calms you down out of your homicidal rage.
Sure.
Pinging. That works. Somehow.
Hey, man, everybody's got their own, like, ASMR thing going on. So I got not the new one, I got a 6S, but, like, there's so much weird new stuff that, like, I did not realize how far my old phone was behind the times. Because, like, even the one I had before, which was the 5C, like, is basically like a tiny miracle box that will do anything that you want. And so now that I have a new one that does even more stuff, like, I kind of don't know how to process those new things. Like, if I press a button, it does one thing. If I push on the flat screen that is not itself a tactile button, but if I press on it harder, it registers that, and it does a second thing with that button.
What?
Like, it reads... Listen, like, these are not new things. These are, like, the advances of Apple telephones from last year. But my home button is now a thumbprint scanner, so I never have to enter my password anymore, which I did not realize was a pain in the butt. But now that I don't have to do it anymore, I cannot imagine a world in which I have to enter my password every time I want to open my phone.
Dude, that is the... like, specifically, like, a thumbprint sort of thing is one of those, like, I don't know why I care about it, because obviously I carry a phone with me, and anybody who wants, like, anybody with the authority to could look up where I am in, like, a 10-foot radius or something And I know that you can like turn the mic on at any time or whatever. It's basically like a tiny spy box that I voluntarily carry around with me. But the fact that like it would know my thumbprint weirds me out a tiny bit.
Dude, it weirds me out also a tiny bit, but on the other hand, I don't have to put my password in anymore.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point.
Like,
absolutely worth giving Apple your thumbprint on that one. No question.
It's not like,
No, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, it's fun. The one weird thing about it, like the thing that's throwing me off the absolute most, is that the screen is larger than my last two phones, because my last two phones had roughly the same screen size, right? Mm-hmm. But this one is just larger enough that there's room for one more row of apps. But I've already organized all of the apps that I have in such a way that it fills 5 rows, but now I have 6 rows, and I don't know what to do with this weird empty 6th row, and it has been really messing with me all week.
Guess you gotta throw the phone away, man. You just can't.
I mean, it was a good couple of days. I enjoyed it. I had a chance to put all of my prints on record.
Just no coming back from that 6th row. That's the death knell. So, Matt, what is our 4th star of the week?
4th star of the week, Dave, is that it's been a couple weeks since we've had one of these, but I was driving around the other day and I noticed something, so that means it's a commute update.
Commute update. Okay, well, all right. So what happened in your commute?
So
I was trying to think of a fun transition there. I had nothing.
So I'm driving to work the other day, and I'm stuck in traffic, as I am, because there was like super construction around my place. I think I've mentioned it in previous commute updates. It's still happening.
Yeah, you have. It's real gross. It sounds lame.
But I'm driving down the highway, and I look to the side of my car, because we're going very slowly, or we're stopped or whatever, and I see a guy go past on a motorcycle. And he's riding a Harley Davidson, and he's got like a brown sort of canvas jacket. And he's got a beard, and he's got aviator sunglasses, and he's got a bandana around his head, and the Harley has like flames on it, like flame decal or paint on it.
Like rad so far.
And, he's got like jeans and boots and stuff.
Yeah, right.
But here's the thing.
The guy's winning. He's doing a great job.
He was like at a glance, he looked like he was my age.
Uh-huh.
And then later that day, I was driving home, same highway, other direction, and I see a different guy, not dressed the same way, but also about my age, and also on a Harley that also has flames on it. And I was just struck by the weird thought that, like, there was a window at some point recently, because I've never seen guys my age driving motorcycles like that before.
Yeah, no, that is strictly, generally, I feel like 50 and above.
Well, okay, here's what I don't know, because I feel like I just missed a window that I didn't know about. Like when you turn 18, you can vote. When you turn 21, you can like go out to the bar and get a drink. And apparently when you turn 32, that is the age where you are allowed to go out and buy a motorcycle with flames on it. But here's my concern. And listen, I was never going to go do this, but I feel like when you are 33, that window has passed and it does not open again until you are 55. Like, there is a very brief window where if you have prepared yourself, like, appropriately, like you've gone out, you've bought the outfit, you grew out the beard, you have the sunglasses, and you say, like, I need one more thing to complete this look, you are at that point allowed to buy that motorcycle. But if you, like,
if you're not prepared,
if you wait for 5 minutes, that's 15 years of station wagon that you got to deal with. Listen, that's fine. I drive a station wagon. I love it. It's got tons of room in the trunk. But, like, if I could have, if I was that guy and I had missed my window, I cannot imagine how sad I would have been.
Yeah, just crushed for like 15 years.
Like, can you imagine being the first guy who missed his window and later that day seeing the second guy and just thinking like, oh my gosh, like I just realized it's over. Like I can't do it now. Anyway, that is my commute update. And Dave, why don't you tell me about a thing that we saw this week in our
man.
5th star.
Okay, dude, super exciting, and there's not actually a whole lot to say about it, except that they have put out posters with the new like teaser shots for the new Zords for the Power Rangers movie. It's coming out in January. And they look real cool, man.
They look real cool. And the thing is, like, every third thing this movie puts out makes me real. Like, if I was emotionally invested enough in the Power Rangers movie, every third thing that it put out would make me super nervous. But, like, I'm kind of chill with however it ends up. Like, obviously, I hope it's cool, and I like it enough that we're talking about it right now.
Yes. Oh, also, I did just see on the Ranger Danger Guys page that Bill Hader is playing Alpha 5.
Dave, that is the exact thing that I was saving in my back pocket to tell you, like, in 3 seconds.
I'm real sorry to have stolen Dave, that from you.
You have opened your own Christmas present. But yes. Yeah, dude, Bill Hader is playing Alpha 5 in this Power Rangers movie.
Dude, no, that's amazing. I love Bill Hader. He's hilarious in like literally everything I've ever seen him in.
Yeah,
dude, those Zords look real cool too.
The Zords look cool. The outfits do still look weird, but like next to the Zords, they look better. And also, like, every named actor that they've announced for this thing, I really like. I mean, I don't know any of the people who are playing the Rangers. They're all like kids, which is perfect. That's how it's supposed to be. But
right,
like,
precisely.
Bryan Cranston, Elizabeth Banks, and Bill Hader, like, that's pretty good, right? Probably?
No, that's super good.
Anyway, that's all I got to say about the Power Rangers movie.
No, just excited to see it, excited to watch that thing. I think it's going to be a ton of fun.
I am weirdly more excited to see what they do with, like, the Alpha 5 redesign than what they do with the Megazord redesign.
I don't know that I'd say that, but I am excited to see it.
Anyway, that's just my quick gut reaction to that. But Dave, let's now develop gut reactions to another show. We're going to take a break. We're going to watch episode 3, American Ninja, and we will be right back. Ninja! Okay, welcome back. So we have just finished watching episode 3, American Ninja. Dave, was the American Ninja everything you hoped for? Not necessarily the episode. Just tell me, did the American Ninja himself meet your expectations?
Dude, I did not. Okay, I don't actually want to talk about it. Okay. Save to say that if I had expectations, I think they would have been exceeded. Long habit has taught me to do my best not to come into the show with any expectations. So,
no, I completely understand. Like, you hear the words American Ninja, and you think, I might know what I'm getting into, but I don't want to push it. And then when you do get not only that thing, but like a bigger, better version of that thing, it's a real magical moment. So, but we will get to that shortly.
So, let's get into this bad boy. So, last episode, what we ended with is that Sasuke had gotten a Makimono scroll, which is the giant robot scroll, and it taught them the transformation technique. And Matt, you were totally right. They do, in fact, transform into those giant robots.
Yeah, that is 100% confirmed now. They are turning into a giant monkey robot. Well, at least
which is amazing.
Sasuke is.
Yeah, but nobody else has them so far. So we start the scene, and it's Sasuke and Saizo, and they're just, like, chilling out. And Saizo's like, hey, why do you get a new Ninpo? Like, what's up with that? And Sasuke says, man, I don't know. I think there's only one scroll. I think I'm just the best.
Yeah, it's so great because the look on Sasuke's face is so glorious. It's like, yeah, man, I don't know. I guess I'm just the best one, and I get to turn into a giant robot, and you get to hang out on the ground.
Like a nerd. So they're at a crepe truck. It turns out, like, I thought they were just at a crepe truck. It turns out Nekomono, in addition to being their transportation, is also their day job.
Yes.
Because he's a food truck.
Yeah,
Nekomono is a food truck.
It's amazing.
that they do crepes out of. And Tsuruhime is like manning the crepe station with
Seikai.
Thank you. So Tsuruhime is manning the crepe bus with Seikai, and they're like, dude, you guys gotta come help. Fighting yokai doesn't pay the bills.
It's great.
I can't. Yeah, this is amazing.
It's so great because you're like, dudes, like, stop sitting down. We need your help. And they're like, dude, our job is not to sell crepes, my dear friend. Our job is to hunt yokai. She's like, yeah, but...
And Tsuruhime's like, yeah, no. I get that. I get it.
Like,
I've been doing this, like, literally... We never stopped.
Yeah, like,
so
this is not River City Ransom. When you beat up those yokai, they do not, like, say barf and drop all their money on the street. You actually need to do something so that we can buy food.
So, Seikai and Tsuruhime are like, you know what we should do with all the money we earned today? We'll go get a nice steak dinner. And that obviously motivates the other two. And
they
they're just like,
chanting,
oh, yeah, wait,
steak.
what? Huh, yes. Yeah, which is a little, I mean, whatever. Okay,
which is
so
wonderful
we
because
go back.
It's very great because like in the first episode, Sasuke and Saizo were arguing over food and they were completely broke, and now it's like, oh yeah, right. Like now they actually can do these things. It's a nice. I don't know if I would call it a callback, but at least it's a sort of continuing character like trait, I guess.
They're
like just desperate for decent food.
That Sasuke and Saizo are broke because it just never occurred to them that they could get jobs. Like, they just don't know that that's a thing. And Tsurumi's like, no, you don't. You have to just come here and do the... Okay. So we go back to the narrator, and he says, what's this week's yokai? And what it is it's a dude with badger makeup, I think. And he's in a taxi.
Could not figure out the makeup. I immediately thought cat makeup, but it could be any kind of animal, honestly. It's... like, you know, there's a nose and, like,
it's
whiskers
very broad,
painted
yeah.
on. It could be a badger. It could be a cat. It could be an otter. I honestly don't know.
And so he's driving a taxi, and everybody that gets... We see him, like, with a few different fares, and everybody that gets in this taxi is terrible. Also, everybody in this taxi is 100% fine that this 100% adult man is just wearing makeup.
Yeah, and of course,
he's to be clear...
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not, like, he doesn't look like a yokai. He just looks like a dude with makeup on.
Okay, but here's the thing, is he is a yokai, so I have to assume that is not meant to be, like real makeup.
Visible?
Like, that is meant to be, like, that dude's face, I think. Like, in story,
okay, yeah.
Like, that dude just has a weird animal face, and no one is mentioning it.
Yeah, everyone's completely chill about it. So finally, the last terrible fare that we see.
Do we want to talk about the terrible fares for a second?
Sure. Because I mean, they're all terrible.
Yeah, but they're terrible in each in new, like, irritating ways. The first one is a small child and his mother. The mother, of course, sees nothing wrong with the small child's behavior, and the small child is just reaching up and grabbing the taxi driver's ear and twisting it. And the mother's only complaint is that if he continues to do that, he will get his hands dirty, which is just like the coldest moment.
So,
and then there's like a drunk guy who throws up in the back of the cab,
which he is not happy about.
And then the third one is like a younger dude who, as they're going along, looks up at like the fare as it's rising on the meter. It's like, whoa. That is raising way too fast. That meter must be broken.
Yeah, it's like, there's no way that is how much money I owe you. So the dude actually dives over the seat, steals the fare meter, and, like, pops out and kicks the taxi and is just like, this is a ripoff taxi. And he just runs. And finally, this is too much. And the monster transforms, and it is a rad monster design.
Oh, dude, it's so good. So this guy is called, and I'm going to try to say this right, Oboroguruma. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's as close as I'm going to get, guys.
Yeah, and what he actually is it is a living cart with, like, a giant face that, like, ferries the souls of the dead to the afterlife.
Oh, is this what that yokai actually is?
Yeah, that's what the yokai like actually is.
But this dude is just a very angry taxi cab. And what's so cool about this monster design is, like, first of all, it looks like a cross between, like, a Super Sentai monster and, like, the living taxi from Roger Rabbit. Like, the bits of it that are, like, super exaggerated.
Wow. Yeah, nope. Got it in one, dude. That was perfect. That's exactly what that is.
But what's really great about it is that I think they built the costume, like, on top of, like, a wheelchair or cart of some sort. Because, like, it is a dude with, like, you know, like, he's in there and he's moving around and he's got arms and stuff, but it's also, like, a thing on wheels that's moving all over the place.
That it, could, like, drive around. It's really cool. So, Obo is just what I'm going to call him, because we're going to say his name, like, a million times. So, Obo is chasing that dude who stole his sphere meter, who very reasonably is freaking out. Because that taxi turned into a monster.
Yeah, that dude is having a day.
So he runs, and he runs and sort of stumbles through the little outdoor cafe area that the Rangers have set up outside the crepe truck. Okay? So Oboro, like, attacks just by, like, bowling through them, and they're just like, oh, man, we gotta, like, deal with this. So Tsuruhime does, like, a summoning ninpo and just summons their shark bikes, and they all have, like, different names and different powers, I guess, but we don't know what those are yet.
Okay, so the 3 names of the shark bikes, which, by the way...
Oh, okay. Did you get them? I did not write them down. I did.
Awesome. So she hops out from behind the counter and is like, oh, we gotta chase them. Does, like, a little thing, as you mentioned, summons the motorcycles, and everyone is like, whoa, what's up? And she's like, oh, I used my ninja to, like, summon this stuff. Like, I just used ninja magic to make you shark-themed motorcycles. So let's go murder this monster. It's completely glossed over because it's just like the introduction of their motorcycles, but it's an insane moment. And I just wanted to take a moment to just acknowledge that. So the 3 are called the Shark Bleeder, that's the red one, the Shark Launcher, that's the blue one, and I think the Shark Slicer is the yellow one.
I think Shark Slicer is. I think you're right.
So the blue and yellow ones each have kind of sidecars, but they're not exactly sidecars. They're like platforms that are like kind of attached, where like one of the ninja can just like crouch on it and like just be ready to jump off at a moment's notice.
Right, they are ready. They're not sitting. They are just like it's like a ninja sidecar. It's perfect, actually.
It really is
because as
perfect.
they're driving, it's awesome. Because as they're driving, they're just like ninja perched on this thing, ready to leap into ninja action,
which is really one of the best kinds of action.
And so they kind of like drive off after Oboro. So they start chasing after Oboro. He unleashes, I'm pretty sure it's called the honk honk fart fart ninpo.
It is.
That's not me.
Yeah.
Those are the words that are on the screen. Honk honk fart fart. It's like a poison cloud.
Yeah, it is a poison cloud, and the Rangers say in no uncertain terms, like, this car is farting on us, and it's very bad.
Yeah, this is gross.
Look, we are having
I love this monster.
Disgusting moment. This car is farting.
Yeah, so this monster's amazing, and so they're like, all right, fine, Kaku Laser. So they go to shoot Kaku Laser, they start to fight, and then
all of our dreams come true.
Okay, so the American Ninja, first of all, is on rollerblades.
Of course. What other choice did he have?
Right. He's on rollerblades, and he is wearing like a full-on like costume shop cowboy costume. He has like a buckskin leather shirt, like vest with fringe, and
he's wearing chaps with fringe. He's wearing
chaps with
a
fringe,
cowboy hat. He's got a red bandana
a denim
around
shirt,
his neck,
and he has revolt like twin 6-shooters, and he is on roller blades,
dudes.
And American Ninja. It's, oh my gosh. So he jumps in and he saves Oboro.
Yes.
The Rangers are super confused. And then, so Sasuke uses his red slicer, which is the move that I thought only Sarudar had, but I guess he has it too.
Hey man, if you have the option to bowl a giant shuriken, you should do that.
I literally have no argument against that. So, yeah, point conceded. You win that. So, but the American Ninja jumps over the red slicer and like shoots at them, but doesn't shoot them. And then American Ninja and Oboro escape. So they're gone, and it's the 4 Rangers left. So they're back at Nekomoro.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a
Nekomaru,
let me interject here for a moment. As the American Ninja and Oboro are leaving, the ninja, like the Kakurangers, look over at this new American Ninja, and they're like, "Dude, what is up?" And he says to them in English,
"Oh, that's right.
Hey, dudes, I'll see you later," or something like that.
I did totally forget about that. This dude just speaks English.
Yes, and he speaks English with the version of an American accent that someone who is trying to do an American accent does. Like, it's not a real American accent. This dude, like, this actor might speak English, but, like, he is desperately trying to sound American, but it is that, like, "Oh, yes, I am an American. Hello. Would you like baseball?" Sort of like...
Oh, dude, I actually thought they did... I genuinely thought that they got, like, an American voice actor to do it, because I thought his English sounded really good.
It does sound good, but it doesn't sound natural, to me, at least. Listen, I could be 100% wrong. That's just what it sounded like.
I don't know. But what I can tell you is that it is very disconcerting.
It's so jarring.
To hear, like, it's really jarring to hear, like, full-on American... Because, like, every once in a while they'll use English words, but they're always using, like, a Japanese-style pronunciation, right? It's like a portmanteau, or not a portmanteau, like a cognate that they've pulled over to use in Japanese. This is not the case here. This dude just sounds American, and it's very strange.
Yeah, it's going to keep happening throughout this episode and probably throughout this show, and maybe we will get used to it, but I did not get used to it today.
So they are back at Nekomaru, the 4 Rangers are, and what's Samurai Alfred's name again? Tsubaya?
Sandayu. Oh, by the way...
Sandayu, thank you.
Here is something, here is a Matt Learns About Japan moment from this past week. Thank you to... at Sweat Drop Emoji, a.k.a. Weed Lord Vegeta for this bit. Sandayu is a historical dude. He was the guy who taught Goemon. Goemon being a dude that I don't know much about, save that he is a, like, Japanese, like, sort of Robin Hood figure.
Yeah, that sounds familiar-ish. Okay, so Sandayu does 2 things. He says, first of all, these crepes are not that great. They need more sugar. Second of all, here's the deal with Jiraiya, who is the 5th American Ninja Ranger. Well, he's the 5th Ranger who is an American, and he's a Ninja Ranger.
Yes.
They're like, here's the deal with him. That dude's family moved to America just like a couple hundred years, like moved to America a while ago, and we have like lost touch with them. Like, we're just not sure what's up, but like that is definitely Jiraiya.
Yeah, like that's the dude. That is the guy you need to like be the 5th Kakuranger. But I have no idea why he is acting a fool, because he just got back from America, and I guess that's just what they do over there.
Like, who even knows what those Americans are up to? And there is definitely a fair amount of just like, oh, America, like what is going on? Which is hilarious.
It is great. It kind of keeps up through the episode.
So they flash from there, and Jiraiya is having dinner with Oboro at like a street side little like cart thing.
Right.
And they're sort of talking, and Oboro's like, listen, it's super rad that you helped me out. I really, really appreciate it. Here's the deal, man. I am going to take you to go meet the boss yokai, like the yokai who's in charge of all the yokai around here. You can help us, and we'll like give it to the humans. I'm not really sure why you're in for that, but clearly you are. So rad.
Let's go do it. And Jiraiya, thank you. Jiraiya says, like, again, in English, like, yeah, man, nobody should be treating you like this. This is garbage. That, like, all of these, like, taxi fares have been so rude to you. And the yokai's like, dude, I do not speak English, but let's go meet my boss.
Oh, yeah, that's another great part. Nobody else, Tsuruhime speaks like a little bit of English, and nobody else speaks English.
Yeah.
So he keeps trying to talk to them, and they're just like, we don't know what she's saying.
Please. Like, we know you. Like, eventually, they're like, dude, we know you speak Japanese. Just please speak Japanese with us.
So as they are about to leave, like, wherever it is they are, Sasuke and Seikai are about to sneak up on them. But, like, as Oboro turns away, Jiraiya, like, throws, like, an egg or something. I didn't quite catch what it was.
It was an egg, yeah.
Okay. So he throws an egg into Seikai's mouth and just, like, kind of gives him, like, a super quick look as Seikai is stumbling backwards. And then Oboro and Jiraiya are gone. We go from there to, like...
Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, like it
so
is,
we go.
It is Kakuranger Mos Eisley Cantina. They walk into like this scummy bar where like like it's just full of yokai. Everybody is in costume except for the pretty lady dancing on stage.
I for sure because they like she's dancing in a hot way, I guess is the thing, and they just. Oboro like looks at her and he's just like, dude, check her out. Isn't she pretty? And I was really waiting for the drop there where she was going to like spin around and have like a crazy monster face. It's like, but no, she's just like a good looking lady who's dancing. So that's the thing.
Here's
and
something else. I'm sorry, Dave.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I am also fairly certain that one of the monsters we saw there was the Four Heavenly Kings.
It was absolutely
just with like a new
Heavenly
paint job.
Kings. Yeah, I have that in my notes. You see him like in passing, and I got really excited because like, oh, like they're just reusing some of these suits from the previous year, and like the head has been repainted, so it doesn't look exactly the same. But
yeah, it took me a second, but I was like, hold up, those are the Four Heavenly
Kings.
Yeah,
it cuts back to them at some point, and there's a moment, like, it is a straight out of Mos Eisley Cantina moment where, like, it looks at that dude's face, he turns from side to side, so you see both sides of his crazy monster head, and then the camera cuts away.
Yeah, so they're going to go take him to Boss Azukirai, I think is how it's
I
what it
did
looks
not
like.
write down his name, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, so they're going to take him to see the boss, and there is another set of like those Venetian blind doors that we saw in the back of the arcade last episode.
Dude, yokais
so I guess
love them doors.
They just really into like that particular like plantation style door thing. I don't know why that's their thing, but it is. So Jiraiya opens the door, and Oboro's just like, yeah, just like go back that way. And like he's back there. Just go meet him. All right, cool. So Jiraiya opens the door.
And he looks in, and it's not like a regular hallway. It is like a evil cavern, like filled with fog, ominous fog.
Yeah. So he starts walking through the cave, and there's a spear trap, and then there's like a fireball trap. This is
all
rad.
the classic traps.
All the classic traps.
Actually,
and I am
had some traps earlier in. There were some traps in episode 1. Like,
spiky.
There've been a lot. This is a trap-heavy show.
Wow, it's about ninjas.
Oh, that's true.
That's they all have. I think you get disable device and as like a class skill.
Oh, absolutely.
So it makes sense.
You get disable device.
Yeah, that you would want to have traps in there, because otherwise. Why would you bother to have the skill,
But of course,
right?
they never use disable device in this show. They only trigger the traps and then succeed in their dex save.
Well, I was going to say, they also have very high reflex saves. So, I am going to jump up for just a second, because he gets through... So, like, it's totally modern in the front. Then there's, like, an evil cave with traps. And then he gets to the back of it, and the boss yokai's office is just, like, a totally modern office. So... It's just like, it's totally fine on either end, and then just an evil cave in the middle.
I love that there's just a random evil hallway. It's so good.
But before he gets there, we do get a quick shot, and it's Tsuruhime and the rest of the Rangers, and they've broken this eggshell open, and there's a note inside.
The eggshell that Jiraiya threw into Seikai's mouth.
Oh, yeah. And I think I have seen in an episode of a TV show that, like, putting things in eggshells is, like, a ninja thing.
It might be.
Which, like, makes a lot of sense, right?
Sure. Yeah,
So,
it's it is a way to hide a message.
Yeah, so they open up the thing, and, like, Seikai, I think, is looking at it, and he's like, I don't know why I'm looking at this. I don't speak English.
Yeah, because it's written in English.
Yeah, so they hand it to Tsuruhime, and she sort of, like, sounds it out, because she also doesn't speak great English, but she eventually kind of figures out what it says. And I feel like it might be a real problem for them if they don't speak English, because if history is any indicator, literally all of their ninja gear is going to be labeled exclusively in English. So that, I feel like, could be a very real problem for them. So, but she gets the note, and the note basically says, listen, I know you guys are the Rangers. I am like tricking this dude to get a hold of your 4 Makimoro scrolls.
Right. And like, I'm
like, this is a thing.
Go get
so
'em.
you guys can also turn. Yeah.
And then, like, we can all hang out and be pals. I'm really looking forward to it. I will see you soon.
You guys are the best. So now we are back at, like, the completely modern office that's on the other end of the evil hallway.
Now, by the way, when Jiraiya got to the end of that hallway, he, like, cracked open the door to see what was on the other side. And the door, like, sucked him through. And on the other side, he was caught in a cage.
Oh, that's right. And so it's just like he is now trapped in this cage, and the boss is like, he's in like a military uniform, but he's got like moles, like giant moles all over his face.
It's a cop uniform.
Oh, okay. And so this is amazing. So the yokai is also from America. Okay. So
wait, hold on. Is that true?
Yeah. It's 100%. Well, he might not be from America, but he has been in America, because he says, I just got back, and I know that you've been chasing me because the American yokai keep me informed through the yokai network.
Yes, dude, there is a yokai network.
So these guys have got, like, Facebook or something. They have, like, a social network that they let each other know, like, what's going on. And the boss, whose name I'm sure I'm butchering, but so boss Azukirai says, yeah, you think I stole the scrolls? Well, I did. I did steal the scrolls 400 years ago.
And apparently that is why Jiraiya's family left Japan to go to America. They have spent all this time chasing those scrolls.
Yes. Also, I think whoever is writing this scroll did not do a whole... I mean, I don't know why this is surprising, but did not maybe, like, do a whole bunch of reading on the timeline of America? Because 400 years before the show happened was, like, 1592, and America just, like, wasn't a thing then.
Or at least it was certainly not the thing as we know it today.
Yeah, like, there were definitely people here, but, like...
not the sort of people that you would have gotten a cowboy outfit from.
Yeah, no. Yeah, quite the opposite, in fact. So, I'm sure... Anyways... So, but he stole the scrolls 400 years ago. The Jiraiya clan has been hunting them for all this time.
Although, okay, to be fair to the show, they stole them 400 years ago. That does not necessarily mean that they stole them and went to America 400 years ago. That might be a much more recent development.
So, Azukirai says, hey, I bet you want to see where the scrolls are. Which is like...
Well, yeah, sure, of course I do.
Yeah,
like,
sure, totally.
That is the reason
like,
I'm
let's
here.
go. So he says he does like a little dance, which I think it's a very similar dance to the one that Kappa did. So maybe this is just like a thing. And he teleports them.
So this dude, the sort of yokai that he is, apparently used to hang out in like rivers and so forth. And
so maybe they're
the
like...
sound that he is supposed to be making is like the sound of beans being washed in the river.
Shook. Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
And so, like, that is a sound that he is, like, approximating here when he is doing his weird yokai magic.
Okay, so he does this thing, and he teleports himself and Jiraiya to the caldera of a volcano.
Which conveniently, when you are not looking directly at the lava, looks exactly like a quarry.
Yep. Yeah. So, well, listen, Matt. If this show has taught me anything, is that quarry is like the baseline of all nature. Like, in its default state, unless you've done something to it, everything in nature is a quarry.
Sure, and you can put water next to a quarry and it's a beach, and you can put trees on top of a quarry and it becomes the forest.
Or you can put fire in it and it's a volcano.
Yes.
So he's just like, yep, there's the scrolls. I stole them and I hid them on a table with like literally no security aside from the fact that they're by a volcano and I don't know why they haven't burned up yet.
I don't know,
but
man.
they
haven't.
Ninja magic. So it's cool. So he says, you want to go get the scrolls? Go get them. So he pushes the cage with Jiraiya in it towards the caldera and sort of like teleports away.
Now, this is great because you see the cage like tumbling down the side of the hill, like into the volcano. And you like it's at a far enough distance that you cannot see very clearly into the cage, but it is certainly close enough that you can see that they have just like put a mannequin inside this thing and like strapped it to the cage to keep it upright, and it's just like flying around inside the cage in a way that a human body should not.
Absolutely would not do. But thankfully, Jiraiya, or the mannequin that he has substituted for himself temporarily.
Hey man, he's a ninja. They can do stuff like that. We saw it in a previous episode.
Totally has a ninja rope. So he like he throws the rope out the cage and like catches himself and he's cool. But just as he does that, Oboro shows up and is furious. He's like, how dare you tricked me, dude. I thought we were bros.
And okay.
Like, I thought we were bros. I thought we were cool.
Here is what I love about this moment, is that up until the point that Jiraiya got to the other side of the thing and encountered the boss, like, Oboro still thought that he and Jiraiya were bros, which means that he took his, like, new best friend and he sent him through a trapped hallway that was primed to murder him.
Well, maybe he just, like, figured that it would be cool. Or
I don't know, man.
Something, I guess.
I just thought it was wonderful.
I mean, clearly it was. He was right. It was cool. So that was fine. So he's like hurt and sad and betrayed. He's like, I can't believe you did this to me. Bullets. So you get bullets. I'm sad and upset, so you get bullets.
Right. We've only known him for a short amount of time, but in that time we have learned that this dude has two modes. He has like upset and put upon and furious and shooting bullets at you. Yeah.
So as this is about to happen, the ninja elders appear to Jiraiya and they're just like, dude, you were supposed to work with everybody else. Why are you like lone gunning it off by yourself and you don't get any help? Which I feel like is a real dumb question because he's wearing a cowboy suit and he's an American.
Right, I love how literal they got with it. Like, dude, this hotshot cowboy is literally running off on his own to do like some Lone Ranger stuff. And like
in a cowboy outfit.
In a cowboy outfit on rollerblades as well sometimes.
Yeah.
Although the rollerblades have mysteriously disappeared, which really, like...
I was desperately hoping that was just going to be a thing forever. It's not, it seems, but whatever. And they're just like, dude, we are not a culture that values the Lone Ranger. Like, you have to get with the team.
Right. Like, you just have to do it. I realize that you are an American, but, like, cut it out, dude. Like, stop being a cowboy. It is ninja time.
Okay, so they're like, we're going to help you out like this one time. So they throw him his Doron charger, and also, so he like henges, and then they like telekinetically yoink the sword that is his from wherever it is, like over to his cage. But as it is, it's not teleported. Like, they are just grabbing it. Because as it is flying towards him, it just happens to pass over Nekomaru. And so he looks out the window. And she's like, oh, dude, that's Jiraiya's sword. Just follow the sword. That'll take us to where he is.
And of course, it's
She's
totally
100% right. Yeah. And so the other Rangers arrive. Jiraiya, like, cuts his way out. He gets the sword. He cuts his way out of the cage. So it's all 5 of them together. And they have, like, maybe the slickest intro tagline yet.
Oh, what is it in
tagline
yours?
is,
I wrote it down for how it was translated and how I was watching it.
Okay, so it's striking down evil hidden from the eyes of men. But I don't know if... okay, so it could be... there's a comma, though, in the one that I saw. So it could be, like, 2 clauses. Striking down evil / hidden from the eyes of men. Or if there wasn't supposed to be a comma there, it could be, like, striking down evil hidden from the eyes of men.
I think that comma was supposed to be in there because the way it's translated on the DVD...
because that's way cooler.
Yeah, the way it's translated on the DVD is hide among the people and punish the evil.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's sweet.
Like, as much as I love everybody else, that's like a million times hotter than Shining in Heavens. There are 5 stars. Like, I like that. But, dude... hide among the people, punish the wicked. Like, that's slick.
Dude, I'm trying to remember. There are 3 Ninja Sentai series, right?
Yeah, it's this, Ninja, and...
well, there's this, Hurricaneger, and Ninja, which is the most recent one, yeah.
Okay.
But Hurricaneger has a great transformation tagline. When the Hurricanegers transform, their tagline is, unknown even to others, unknown even to the world, we become shadows to defeat evil.
What?
Yeah, dude, Hurricaneger
that's
is
amazing.
sick. Like, their mentor is like a weird gerbil, and that's weird, but, like, Hurricaneger is rad.
Yeah, I'm not... that gerbil sounds
okay,
weird.
he's a ninja
but
master that got
sounds...
transformed into a gerbil.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense.
Okay, so all of this happens. So, like, they do the whole transformation. It's all 5 Rangers all together for the first time. Totally rad.
Great moment.
Oboro is not impressed. He turns into a giant and, like, shirts a rampage. Sasuke does his Kakure art of the giant beast. He transforms into... what is it again, Matt?
Saruder. Giant beast commander Saruder.
Okay, so he turns into Saruder.
Giant Beast General.
Yeah, okay. So Giant Beast General Saruder. He starts fighting, but he is not strong enough to defeat Oboro on his own. The other 4 Rangers are like, what are we going to do? Like, guys, obviously, you're going to...
right, you are going to become giants and fight this dude.
Yeah, you're going to get ninja scrolls.
So at this moment, Jiraiya looks down and is like, oh, yeah, right, the entire reason I came to Japan. So there are these scrolls right over there. We need to go get them because that's going to help us.
And they're just like, okay, well, go get them. Well, and he's like, nah, I do not like heat.
It's not super great for me down there with the lava. Not a fan. Maybe somebody else. And Tsuruhime is like, no. This is your fault. As your
you
punishment,
need to take care of this.
You need to go get that. Which I love.
So he does.
Which I love, A, because it's a great moment. And B, because it is reinforcing the fact that Tsuruhime is in charge. Like, everybody listens to Tsuruhime.
Yeah, it's, like, I really, really dig it. And I hope that it does not change. So he kind of, like, rappels down. He gets the scrolls. He brings them back up.
As he's coming back up, Oboro looks down and is like, oh, no, that's not good. Like, I'm going to stop you. Starts shooting, like, flaming bullets at him. Jiraiya looks up to his bros and is like, dudes, help me. But he's shouting in English, which I only mention because it's going to be important in another scene. Like, they might not speak English, but they know that, like, they should be helping this guy. So they all pull out their lasers and start shooting at Oboro to, like, distract him. Jiraiya is able to get back up to the ridge of the volcano.
Yeah. So he gives everybody their scrolls, and they all turn into their, like, Kakure-style giant beasts. So it's White Crane, Yellow Bear, Blue Wolf, and Black
He's a
I
frog
had to look
dude.
this one up. Yeah, he's a frog dude, and you might remember me saying the other day, like, that's Jiraiya's thing. Like, dude does frog magic.
Absolutely.
Toad.
So
he's actually a toad.
These dudes, they are called... Okay, so Tsuruhime's is called Kark. These are all, I think... Okay, I know, because I looked it up. These are all based on the Japanese names for these animals, with, like, other bits put in around them to make them sound more like robot names.
Awesome.
So it is Kark is Tsuruhime, which is the crane. The Yellow Rangers is Kumard or Kumardo, and that is the bear dude, because Kuma is a bear. Logan is the wolf, and Gamma is the frog.
Got it.
They
So
rule.
Yeah, they look super rad. The only thing that's a little weird to me is, like, they are straight up just people shaped with, like, animal heads, kind of, except for White Crane, who just seems like she's wearing a helmet of some kind.
Yeah, I think maybe they couldn't figure out how to make, like, a crane beak look cool, so they just gave up and gave her a completely different head.
Right, which is legit, because, like, that's gotta be, like, how are you gonna get that to look right? So they all start fighting Oboro, all right? And they do this thing, and they're like, art of combination. And I was just like, no way. Are these guys combining their giant robots
Dude,
already? This is amazing.
I seriously thought they were going to combine into a giant robot, but instead what they do is somehow even more wonderful, especially for a third episode.
So what they do is they just jump on top of each other and somehow stick together like an invincible robot general pyramid.
It's like a human pyramid,
and then they just,
except instead of kneeling on each other's backs, they're standing on each other's shoulders.
Yeah, and then they just, as a unit, like, spin around real fast and doing a technique called Void Hurricane.
Yes, so they do this hurricane move, and I'm like, okay, that's like a cool thing. Like, they didn't actually combine, but they got to do like a ninja hurricane, and that's fun. I wonder what is going to happen with the rest of this fight.
So what happens is nothing.
Right.
Like, that's
that
it.
Is,
Oboro just dies, and he's like super cash about it. He's like, they got me, and then he just dies.
And as his like energy is floating up into the sky to join the cloud of yokai energy, he's like, man, even in death I got bullied by humans. This sucks.
Yeah, and then he's just dead. So I actually feel kind of bad for Oboro.
I do feel a little bad for that dude.
So they go back there.
Okay, as he dies. No, never mind. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah. So they go back to the crepe truck, and they're all just kind of like giving Jiraiya some attitude about the fact that he speaks English. And they're just like, dude, we know you speak Japanese. Like, you're not cool. Just speak Japanese.
Because he is speaking to some customers in English, like some girls.
You're right, and kind of getting a little flirty.
His dialogue is very, like, it's just words. It doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, hey, yes, good, how, yes, of course. Like, the words that he is saying, like, kind of string together into sentences, but do not make any, like, there is no way that conversation would be at all interesting.
So, yeah, like, it's just them at the crepe truck. And like, that's it. And then we get a quick shot of the yokai boss has escaped and has, like, he walks by some garbage, and he sort of, like, picks up the lid of a garbage can and then hops in, and then his head comes back out, but it's, like, attached to the lid of the garbage can, and he's a garbage can monster.
Yeah, he is the garbage can monster that we saw for, like, a hot second in the first episode.
Yeah, so that's it. Which, like, we're 3 episodes deep. We've got all the Rangers. We've got some giant robots. Like, I feel like we're making a pretty good progress here.
Yeah. I still honestly do not know how, like, the giant invincible Shogun Castle is, like, I don't think they control him. I think that's just a dude that hangs out.
Yeah, it does not seem to be the case.
Because I thought that these, like, the 5, like, or giant, like, animal robots were going to transform into that dude. But that didn't happen?
But no, that is not, like, they are different because they're not, like, they are giant robots, but they're not because...
Okay, do you, before we start talking about the monster, have any final thoughts on this episode? Any standout moments, anything like that?
I am really digging that Tsuruhime is, for all intents and purposes, in charge, despite the fact that she's not the Red Ranger.
Dude, I love
think
it.
it's a really fun twist, and I really like it. And also, like, just everything about Jiraiya.
Yeah, I love
is blowing my mind.
I love how jarringly American he is. I loved the crazy monster, like, Star Wars cantina. It's... Dude, I'm digging it.
Like, it's all pretty gold, I ain't gonna lie. So, the next question, Matt, is where does Oboro fit on the Creature Royale?
Where indeed?
Okay, so where does this dude go? Okay, first of all, I love his look.
Love the design.
And I also just love that it is like a structural thing, that it's like clearly driving around on some sort of cart. Like, it's just such a neat idea. So he gets a ton of points for me on that.
Yeah, I'm already looking pretty high. Definitely higher than Kappa and Rokurokubi.
Yeah, definitely. Is he cooler than... Okay, it's tough because his design is so rad, but as a character, there's not a whole lot going on. Like, he's a taxi driver. He just kind of wants to be a taxi driver, but he's angry at people because they're all jerks.
He does he does have a certain degree of, like,
pathos.
Exactly. Like, I empathize with the dude. He's not just Monster of the Week.
Okay, so I would say better than the Priestesses?
Yeah, I mean, I would think based on design alone. And also, like, listen, man, he's a car monster who farted on him. And he, he was super excited. Like, we didn't mention this, but when they went to the bar, he got, like, super excited about the fact that he was getting back into villainy.
Yeah, like, he's just been waiting. He's so hungry for it.
Because I feel like he had just been spending the last however long just legitimately being a taxi driver. And, like, I don't know if he'd been trying to go straight or if he had just been forced into it because he didn't have his powers.
Nah, man. I think he has just been, like, desperately waiting to throw off those shackles. So, definitely better than the Jewelry Priestesses. Better than Pachinko Master?
Yeah, I would say he's better than Pachinko Master. Definitely more memorable.
Let's jump up then. Iron Mask Choryu? Lipstick Songstress? I'm saying not as cool as Iron Mask Choryu.
Okay, so he's above Pachinko Master, below Iron Mask Choryu. We've got Lieutenant Shiryu in there. Do we? I feel bad splitting up. Oh no, wait, never mind. Lieutenant Shiryu was never associated with Iron Mask Choryu. He was Kazu.
Yeah.
Toshikaku's
so
dude.
I would say above Lieutenant Shiryu.
Okay, let's put him right in there.
I'm cool with that. All right, so Oboro Gumara comes in at spot number, what is that? 13. 13 on the list of monsters. And I think that's going to do it for us.
Yes, that is going to do it for another episode of A View to a Kakuranger. Before we finish up here, I would like to remind you all you can email the show at supersentaibrothers@gmail.com. Want to get any updates on future episodes or check out what we're talking about on Twitter? We are at Super Sentai Bros. If you like the show, please remember, shining in the iTunes review section, there are 5 stars. Rate, review, subscribe on iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts. That's what's going to help new people find the show. Super Sentai Brothers are a production of Retrograde Orbit Radio. Once again, we're the Super Sentai Brothers. I am Matt.
I'm Dave.
And we will see you next week.